Welcome back, all of you. Thanks for joining us this week for this week's Roll with Safety tip. Let's rephrase that. Tips. Have a couple of tips for you. What separates good companies that are average, produce products, and still have injuries, accidents, first aid recordables versus those that hit the greatness mark? We're talking several hundred million man hours, several years without one recordable, lost time, first aid, fatality, or light duty work performance. So let's share what those are. The first one is very, very simple. Got to have the right attitude. The attitude by which you approach a safety meeting can reflect those that are around you. So if you don't like the way that people are behaving on your crew, if you don't like the way that kids are behaving at home, I guess we can discipline those people if we want to, but you might want to grab a mirror and look at yourself to see if you can't have some sort of a different impact or positive impact on those you work with, or help enhance and improve the attitude of your children. Number two, this one's a tough one. Humility. It takes a lot of humility to go up to somebody and let them know that they're in a unsafe environment. It takes a lot of humility to go up to a child and talk to them about hazards that exist in their life. Let's identify a couple. Drugs and alcohol. That's a hazard. We've got to humble ourselves to approach that situation. Another one would be bad imagery on the internet or pornography. It takes humility to be able to do that, which is a great segue to number three. So number one, attitude. Number two, got to have humility. Number three, it takes guts. Got to have courage. So I know that you'll help when you're asked. Will you help when you're not asked? It takes courage to be able to do that. The companies that reach zero, they teach a culture and an environment to have guts. In my home, my family, my children, I know my kids aren't stupid enough to text while they drive. They're not going to do that. But I want them to have guts that when they're sitting in the shotgun seat next to their basketball buddies, and then one of their basketball buddy pulls out a cell phone and starts to text, I want them to have the guts to speak up without throwing them under the bus. I don't want them to damage that relationship. I just want them to have guts to speak up and stand up where they know is right, because people are our greatest asset, not the car, not the cell phone, not the product. Number four, promote a culture of learning. In the hospital, my dad came to me and said, "Son, what if you could be a better person with no hands and no legs? What if you could be a better husband?" And I said some things to my father that kicked him out of the room, left him out, he walked out of the room. My dad came back to me and said this: "Are you ready to learn and be teachable? Or are you just going to show up and sit there like everybody else?" I want you all to know that that's my greatest fear as we send these videos out to people. Sometimes people watch these videos and they don't have a learning or an open mind, a learning attitude, or a willingness to accept new ways of doing old jobs. We need to be willing to do things differently, learn new ways to accomplish our goals, learn new ways to put on a pair of jeans. The hands don't work. Today I'm more productive because I started to listen to my father. Putting on a shirt with no fingers or dexterity. Brushing my teeth without being able to grab the toothbrush. Do you have an open mind enough to be willing to learn new techniques? Number five, work to achieve the goal by the power of incrementalism. We need to realize that it's not going to happen overnight. I know that I'm not going to start walking overnight, but I can do little things each and every day that will get me one step closer to my goal. By the way, my goal is not to walk again. My goal is to be independent. The more dependent I am around my crew and with my crew, the more independent I become. So be dependent on those around you. And finally, number six, the power of encouragement. When somebody's doing something good, acknowledge them for that. Make it public. When you notice somebody doing something positive, say thank you. It's amazing what can happen with just those two words. So I gave you 6 things today. Look at those 6 principles. We're going to list them right here for you on the screen. 1 through 6. Boom, 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 boom. There they are right there. And let's be on our way to a culture of zero harm. Until next week, this is Chad Hymas saying roll with safety.